yard's impressive.
Yeah, I really like the same thing that you did back there.
Oh, I have one of those at home. It's 2035. There it is, right?
All right, so last week we ran sequence train 4, which was we I don't know if you remember, we dropped off the cars at the industrial park and one at the grain elevator. That was the first delivery at the grain elevator. But so we're gonna look at train sequence train number 5, which is this one. It's the mixed freight 3A, which is the 1960s. They all have runners on the top. So we're going to run that with the UP SD60Ms, Power V2s. So I'm going to get that set up tonight. And here's the sheet. Here's the manifest sheet. So this is all the train cars in consist. And I'll get the power hooked up to it and check those all out. Well, here's the train. It's on the Proviso Yard, UP Yard, going westbound to the left. This is the front, the full 3A train, the 1960 train. So it's those cars on the inside track. And down here is where I'm going to pull the power. B2, which are these two right here, the SD60Ms, 6284 and 6332. So I'll show you when that train is all put together, and we'll be ready to take that 5 laps tomorrow on train day in our session. I almost forgot to show you, I've got the 1960s train 3A set with the road power SD60Ms, and it's ready on the main line, and I've checked all the cars. They're all ready to go with the caboose at the end. That's why it's a 1960s car or train. All right, next time you'll see this car train will be in the train session tomorrow night. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just turned to 6 long.
Okay. This is the 1960s train taking its first lap. 17 cars. So we did the 5 laps for train 3A, the 1960s train. Now the light power with the caboose is going back to the engine facility, and Rob's putting it back on track 2 right here where it belongs. Rob just put the track power on. See how she does. It's a straight shot in here, so we shouldn't have any problems. But we do. Wouldn't you know? Well, in this section, I just wanted to show you something that I'm doing. This is the coal load that came with this car. These two are from another mixed freight bound for another destination for coal, but we're going to take it from the Melrose Park power plant out to Wyoming to get new coal and then split it back out to where it belongs. But let me show you what I did and how I made my own coal loads. Well, before I go, this was the other coal load. Looked like someone made it out of plaster Paris. So that one bit the dust. So that's why I went ahead and made 2. This one was the old one, and I'll show you what I did to make the new ones. So what I did is I took a piece like this, and I cut it to about this kind of shape, and I trimmed down the edges and the sides here so they don't, it's not a corner, it's more rounded to simulate a load. And then I painted it. I painted each of these black. See, there's the foam. Painted them black, and then I covered them with this fine ballast. I glued them. I just painted white Elmer's glue on them, and then I covered them with that ballast. So I think they look pretty good. Maybe I'll pull out a couple of those cars and see what it looks like inside. So there are the 4 new loads for the scale train, open hoppers. I think it looks pretty good. And there's my homemade coal loads on the other 2 open hopper cars, the Chicago Northwestern. These are a little longer than the 29 cars that I have here in the yard, but I still think that'll work. Same coal, same Powder River Basin coal. So I'll put these back in the Powder River Basin, and we'll take the empties over there and fill them back up. Well, the next thing I'm going to do, this little segment, is going to be using this B40-8. It's a GP, and I'm going to put this into a westbound train heading to Powder River Basin to fill up with coal. Since we've unloaded all these coal cars, as you can see, they're empty. So I won't get the video, but I'll take still shots and put it in the blog. Well, the track really needs to be cleaned. Pulling the train out, getting it ready. Okay, here's the last set of cars. So he's going to bring these in. One car, half a car, 20, 10, that'll do. Let's just go a little bit further. There we go. We got, so now that's our complete train all put together. Oh, it takes a while for it to, all the couplers to. So I'm going to pull these all out of this yard and get ready for a westbound. This is really the front of the car right here because it's going westbound. Right now we're going eastbound. So I will move this back into the main line and then attach the road power to it, and I'll be ready for its westbound trip to Powder River Basin. So the westbound train is ready for the main power. It's a long train, 31 cars. Okay, next up is my unit coal train. It's on the main line. It's westbound. Right now it's on track 1. I have to do a track 2. I have to do a crossover to track 1. But right now I gotta take this, get the power for it. It's gonna be the Chicago Northwestern GP 38-2s, 3 of them. 4615, 4634, and 5052. And they're the DC models, so analog. So let's get that up and running. Just a quick video to show the paperwork for this. I'm working on this right here. Thursday, December 4th, using my UT6 throttle. The power code is C5 for the GP 38-2s. Doing a prep, getting ready for westbound track 1. So here's the GP 38-2s right there on track 5, the light on. And first thing I had to do was turn the switch on for track 5. The Chicago Northwestern engine facility. And I need to grab my throttle. Head over there. Okay, here's a GP 38-2s ready to go. I'm just going to run 2. Looks like we've got some repairs on the 4615. So I'm going to leave the caboose behind since I'm taking this to the Powder River Basin. We have a controlled end of train device on it, so we'll use that instead of the caboose. But here's where I plug in my UT, I forget what that's called, the PC board. Okay, now on my throttle, it's on 6, this is a UT6, so I always put it to that setting when I'm finished. I exited. Now I got to change it to 0. Let me do that next. Okay, so now it's set for 0, which is DC analog, and I should be able to run this train. Let's check it out, see if there, got the power. So now I'll take that over to the main line and I'll show you that. Okay, just one more thing. Here's actually the end of the train we're going to pick up. It's up on the main line, track 2, and this is going to end up going out of the yard, out of the facility, down the yard throat of the UP West yard. It's going to go over there and pick up the train. I don't know if you can see it from here. Well, let me see if I can zoom in. I think that's the beginning of the car. That's it right there. See the car? That's where I'm going to hook up to. All right, the light power is on its way to pick up the train. It's hard to run the train with the throttle and the camera, so, and I don't have a tripod, so this is the best I can do. Okay, here comes the power. All right, coming in, we're gonna hook this up. Okay, we gotta align the couplers here. Okay, after they're aligned, we are ready. I'm gonna take this out to the main line now. One thing I need to do is Just hang on a second. I have to turn the power on this throttle, because this throttle runs the crossover switch. So the crossover 4 has to be switched to divergent. Let me show you over here. So we're currently on track, the inside track, that's track 2. And it needs to do a crossover to track 1, which is our westbound line. And so I notice here you got to switch these back to green. These are the yard leads. Good thing we checked that. Otherwise we would have gone into the yards. All right, so let's take a look at that. And once it's on the main line, I'll switch it off. One thing that's interesting about these signals that I figured out how to operate them is that you can force it red if it's going in the opposite direction. So this is a westbound signal, so the one on the left is a westbound. I have it forced red right now, so I'm going to take that off. It's going to cycle through and be green, but I need to get a green light on the right signal because this train is on that track. So remember, it's a eastbound track, which is coming towards us is eastbound, but I want to go westbound, which is going away from us on track 1, this track right here. So I got to get this signal to be green, and I'll show you how to do that. Back at the control tower, the force signal, which is the one we were looking at, is force red. So I'm going to take that off so it will turn green because it's going in the opposite direction. I know this is kind of hard to articulate and for you to understand, but you'll see. Okay, the left side is green now because I took this forced red switch off. So now it's green, and I'm waiting for the other one to turn green. Well, it appears we're having a signal misfunction, so dispatcher has cleared at caution speed, even over the red. So we're going to wave the red and continue on to the main line, the crossover. So let's get started. All right, we're bypassing the red signal on our way to the Powder River Basin. Oh wow, that's weird. It turned green. It finally turned green. You see that? And then when the train passed, it turned red. So here it's taking the crossover. Having some problems hanging. All right, I don't know what happened there. Maybe some bad track, but here it's taking the crossover from track 2 to track 1, and then we'll head on to Powder River Basin. Well, it just keeps on going, doesn't it? There's my new cars right there that I made the new loads for, those two. All right, let's stop it there. Well, let's clear the roadway so the cars can get by. There we go. And then I have to turn on the end of train device right there before we head out. So there's our coal train heading west on the track 1 westbound to Powder River Basin. We've arrived at the Powder River Basin. The train has been cut into two pieces, ready for switching into this, the east yard, to fill up with coal. And that the road power will do that. And then once the coal is filled up, we'll move these cars from the east yard with the help of the road power and the switcher, Powder River Basin switcher right here. We push and pull the cars into the west yard, which is where that yard will make the train that does the return trip back to the Melrose Park power plant eastbound.